Yeah, I'll do the first. Thank you for the kudos on the music. We wanted to we didn't want to make a film in which, and by nature of the community, where it's like, oh yeah, let's play hip hop because that's what the kids listen to, you know. So we wanted the music to be appropriate for the tone that we wanted to set, and we also, at the same time, we wanted to be true to kind of the Memphis roots. And so taking those elements, like, you know, like kind of clean guitar, like stripped down drums. So we actually there's a really amazing composer, Michael Brook, did the score, and then friends of Dan actually did a lot of the band elements, and then we had some needle drops here and there. But we wanted to be able to take those musical elements and then create something that was so using the same music elements that are used in kind of traditional like rock and blues from Memphis, but then using that instrumentation, but doing something a little bit more ethereal and something a little bit more cerebral.
We're also like
music geeks.
Ridiculous music geeks, and we like find like, you know, most of the songs are things that we found with our. Yes, that was Dan Erbach actually. That happened that was something we were using just to cut, and somebody had a relationship with them and said, hey, just look at this, like, it's really appropriate, you should let these guys, and he like gave it to us for not much money at all.
$5 on beer.
Yeah. And we still owe him the beer.
Then the second part of your question was, you know, how do you get the kind of natural you know, experience out of those kids?
You know, it just, I wish there was like a simple answer, oh, we did this or that. It was like, it just kind of happened. I think it helped that we were younger. We were kind of like right in between the age of them and their coaches. So it wasn't like we were adults in a way of like super, so there was like and it was just like an instant kind of a relationship that we had with them. And then I also think that, you know, we went there to film some footage early in the spring to look at possibly doing this. And we just got some really, the thing with Money and the Turtles is the first thing we ever shot with him. Like, literally mic'd him up, and I was like, show me around. And he goes, well, here are my pet turtles. And I said, why turtles? And that's what came out of his mouth. And I was like, that's amazing. So we were like, okay, if we're going to do this film, we have to do it where we're just going to be there, and it has to just be, like, it was literally the three of us. That's it. Like, no sound guy, we'd run sound, yeah, no booms, like, and so I think they quickly, and then we just came every day. I mean, we were at school, we like, oh, there's an assembly. It's like, it's never going to be in the movie, but we're going to go there, you know, just because we wanted them to just get so used to us being around that we were just kind of a part of their lives. And I think that's, I mean, there is hilarious, like, goofing around stuff that we do have, for sure. But most of that comes from, like, the hall. It was like, we'd be in the hallway at the school, and you'd get some kid who'd be like, yeah, you know? And you just kind of look at him and ignore him. And then I think word kind of spread out. I was like, I think if you want to be on camera, you gotta not look at the camera or something. So.
Can you talk about filming the football games? Because it feels like you really got those from all angles, and it's hard to imagine you guys were doing them with two cameras.
The last playoff, we had a couple local shooters that would come and shoot like a wide shot. We actually didn't really use that often, but like in the playoff game, then we had 3 extra cameras. 5 total, yeah, 3 extra cameras. But some of the games it would just be the two of us, and so that was.
Dan would you pretty much mic up Bill and follow Bill, and the whole idea, you know, it was actually kind of a big learning curve for us because I've never shot football before. I don't think you had.
No.
But so it's funny every time I watch the film, you can, at least for me, I can see how it gets better and better every game. It's like we finally dialed it in, like how we should shoot the film by the last game, and I was like, sweet, and then they lost. So, but basically, we wanted something in the same vein as the film. We wanted to do something really intimate. So Dan would follow Bill and mostly get Bill's reactions and his interactions with the players, and then I would roam and get kind of crowd reactions, or, you know, shooting over the shoulder, or getting the announcer. So just to fill it out and give it a little bit more color, like you're present in the game and not just looking at it like as if you're looking an NFL game, just kind of from a bird's eye view.
We watched a lot of other like football movies, and we were amazed at how distant the camera is. And we were like, because high school football, there's not a lot of people there. It's maybe not always as exciting. So we're like, how can we make this dramatic and big? We're like, well, it's big and dramatic for the kids and for the coaches. I mean, it's really intense on the sideline. So it's like, let's film it from the sideline, and get away from the idea of always being overhead. It was like. And it was hard at first. I mean, even Rich, as a huge sports fan, would be like, I'm having trouble following the ball sometimes. And we'd like try, get back and cut it so you could still follow the action of the game, but the emotion and intensity of what was happening was always paramount.
We wanted to mirror also what we were doing off of the field. We wanted to make it feel a little bit more cinematic. We shot on the long end of the lens a lot, so a lot of, you're always tight in the person's face because we thought that's where a lot of the emotion, you're going to draw a lot of the emotion out of. So we kind of did the same thing on the field for the games.
I have one last question for you. That last scene where the coach talks to OC, how did you hold it together filming that? Because I have a hard time holding it together sitting in a seat watching that.
There's two. I was filming that. There's two moments, and then I was filming the thing with Money and Bill. Those are two moments where I literally, my hand was shaking as I was filming it, and just tears are like pouring down my face. I'm like trying to hold it together to like keep the shot. But that one at the end in particular was, I mean, that was. I just followed him up, and at first I thought Bill's mic went out. And I was like, oh my, no, I was like, this is the climax of our film. And so I started to kind of like move because I had a shotgun on my mic to try and get closer to his face. And I heard him talk, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I just moved. I don't want to move back. I was like, wait. And I kind of consciously remember thinking this. I was like, I need to get back around. I'll just circle back around, and that will be a smooth move to just do that. And then we like got done, and we went out that night. We were very depressed. We went and got a lot of drinks, and we were like, I can't believe they lost. We don't have a movie. Like, I mean, we quickly knew that night. It's like oh no, that's the right thing. That's what should have happened. And then the next morning, we woke up, and I was like, oh guys, you should probably see this this shot that I got. And we watched it, and we were all crying watching it. We were like, that's pretty amazing. Yeah.
We have to wrap it up here. The guys might be able to take more questions outside. Thank you for coming. Remind you to use your power to vote when you're outside. Get a ballot. Thanks very much to Dan, TJ, and Rich.